Well, it is the kind of place folks in Bell County have been waiting for. A local food truck owner is planning to open a massive entertainment park in Killeen.
You got food trucks, live food, live music, and much, much more. 25 News reporter Darrell Baker explains how the new spot should bring everyone together.
This may look like an open lot.
We've got all this space here, and so we're excited.
But soon it'll be filled with food trucks, live music, and more.
This is a collective dream for everyone here so they can have a place to come to that is large, safe, and they'll be able to do what they do.
Lions Club Park, that's the only thing we have to go to, and they don't have events like this here for people.
The lot is the former Roger Beasley Mazda car dealership, but Anthony Cooper, the new owner of the 3-acre parking lot, says it's now the home of the Killeen International Cuisine Corner and Artisans Marketplace, or Kick It.
Well, there'll be 8 food trucks lined up over here and 4 going this way. We'll have vendor markets pop up, the people who specialize in their own craft.
I think they can embrace some exciting ideas to Central Texas and open up some new doors and give us some new life.
Cooper says the 7 days a week facility will hold events for dance competitions, basketball tournaments, farmer markets, double Dutch rope contests, and more.
Round Rock, Pflugerville, Austin, Georgetown, Dallas, Waco. They've got a place, man, where everybody could come together, and this is that.
Cooper says they're in the first phase of their plan and will host 2 food trucks this weekend. He plans to bring in a basketball court, a multi-purpose dance floor, and fully open within the next year. In Killeen, Darrell Baker, 25 News.
Darrell, thank you. Now it's safe to say this isn't just any park. For starters, it will be open 7 days a week. Again, there will be food trucks, live music, and dance competitions. The park will also host basketball tournaments and include a farmer's market. Other contests and vendors will be available in the future as well. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton threatening to sue school districts for ignoring Governor Abbott's ban on mask mandates. So what happens next? It's going to take time and money, and that money is coming right out of your pocket. For example, since schools are publicly funded, Waco residents will be paying for Waco ISD's representation. As for the Attorney General's office, that will come out of state taxpayer dollars. To do this, the governor is using an executive order and classifying it as a state emergency. An attorney we spoke with weighs in.
I don't know that we've had a lot of precedent with the governor declaring an emergency or that disaster when there hasn't been a hurricane or a tornado or an actual what was contemplated as the original intent of a disaster.
25 News reached out to the AG's office but didn't hear back on if this is a threat or if it's a promise.
As the battle rages on over masks in the classroom, state legislators are staying out of the fight. 2 bills presented during the special session died when that session ended last week. The governor wanted a bill that would ban school officials from requiring facial coverings and put an end to the back and forth in the courts. President Biden today laying out an aggressive new strategy to help fight the Delta variant. His plan has 6 steps. The president announcing executive orders, one requiring all federal executive branch workers to be vaccinated, another mandating employees and contractors with federal government ties be vaccinated as well. Also included,
the Department of Labor is developing an emergency rule to require all employers with 100 or more employees that together employ over 80 million workers to ensure their workforces are fully vaccinated.
Now, mask mandates on federally funded public transit are already required. The president also calling for businesses to offer employees paid time off to go get their shots.
And now let's get a first check on our weather.
Chief Meteorologist Matt Hines is here. Matt, warmed up today.
It did after some pretty nice morning lows, but we did only make it to about 94 degrees here in Central Texas, 92 up in Dallas-Fort Worth, 97 in San Antonio. So we are on the edge of the coolest of the air, and out there right now, well, it's cooling off nicely. Temperatures already down into the low to mid 70s for us. It is feeling nice, folks. and we will continue to have that nice feeling. Dew points are down into the 50s. So with those dew points so low, those temperatures will continue to fall as those winds lighten up tonight. Probably going to make it into the 60s as we head into the morning hours here. So here we go. Temperature probably right around 61 degrees as we head off to school. Very mild start. Enjoy that. It will warm up quickly through the morning, and by the afternoon we're back up to 94 hot degrees once again. It will stay hot in the day and mild through the weekend, but then may have some rain chances for you as we head into next week. More on that coming up.
All right, sounds good, Matt. A week after being signed into law, the state's heartbeat bill is suddenly facing yet another legal challenge at the federal level.
ABC's Rena Roy explains how the Biden administration is now fighting the state of Texas in court.
It's the most restrictive abortion law in the nation.
Many babies will be saved.
And now the Justice Department is suing the state of Texas to challenge it.
The act is clearly unconstitutional under long-standing Supreme Court precedent.
This after nearly 24 House Democrats wrote a letter to Attorney General Merrick Garland urging legal action. The abortion ban after 6 weeks of pregnancy makes no exception for rape victims. Governor Greg Abbott under fire for his comments on that.
Texas will work tirelessly to make sure that we eliminate all rapists from the streets of Texas.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez slamming him on CNN.
Well, I find Governor Abbott's comments disgusting. The majority of people who are raped and who are sexually assaulted are assaulted by someone that they know.
The law also gives private citizens the right to sue anyone who aids and abets an unlawful abortion.
It does not rely on the state's executive branch to enforce the law. Rather, the statute deputizes all private citizens without any showing of personal connection or injury to serve as bounty hunters.
This teenage activist on TikTok helped crash an abortion reporting hotline in protest of the new law.
I want to make it very clear to Governor Abbott and to the GOP here in the state, this is the beginning. We're not going to stop until our rights are reinstated.
The group Texas Right to Life launched the pro-life website earlier this summer before the new ban went into effect.
The new law is prompting several lawmakers in states like Arkansas and Florida to suggest looking into similar laws in their own states.
Meanwhile, Governor Abbott still at work signing House Bill 20 into law earlier. Social media companies, it now prevents them, all of them with more than 50 million monthly users, from banning users based on political views in posts. Consumer protection disclosures are also required. Sites must also implement a process to explain why they removed any content. Social media companies must review and remove illegal content within 48 hours. Many think the new law will almost certainly face a legal challenge as well. In a criminal case against Texas AG Ken Paxton is now moving forward again. An appeals court affirmed that a securities fraud case can be tried in his home county in North Texas. The Baylor grad's defense lawyers touting the decision, asking prosecutors to move forward. The Biden administration will withdraw its nomination of David Chipman to serve as ATF director. He's been with that agency for more than 2.5 decades. But he's also currently a top advisor for Giffords, a foundation that advocates for stricter gun laws, raising concerns from GOP senators and also some moderate Democrats. His nomination also sparked backlash, predictably, from the National Rifle Association.
Coming up, a local food bank is serving those who served our country. More on that coming up next.
But first, it was a homecoming surprise for 3 local students. Find out how Dad was able to turn up at their school. 3 students in Killeen celebrating tonight after a major surprise at school.
Someone very close to them was away from home serving our country. 25 News reporter Adam Schindler has the story.
Staff Sergeant Andy Patterson arrived home from deployment in the middle of the night on Wednesday. But it wasn't until the next day that he made a surprise visit to his 3 children at Brookhaven Elementary School in Killeen, who all got their own moment.
Each of the kids had their own way of acknowledging, but the acknowledgement that the kids had would be the favorite part.
This is the 3rd time Staff Sergeant Patterson has been deployed since his kids were born, something that isn't easy to do.
If anything, it gets harder watching your children grow up and knowing that you're missing out on a majority of their life when you're gone during that time period.
Each deployment is harder and harder on his family, too.
As a military family, we know the sacrifices we have to make as a whole, but it doesn't change the fact that we're human and we just want to be together, too.
Now that Staff Sergeant Patterson is home, his wife has a message for him.
I love you and I'm proud of you, and I thank you for all that you do for our family. I'm so glad you're home.
Staff Sergeant Patterson's son says the first thing he wants to do is go home and play with his dad. In Killeen, Adam Schindler, 25 News.
Adam, thank you. The Food Care Center in Killeen making it part of their community mission to serve those who served our country. Thanks to partnerships with Tyson Foods and military resources, the food bank is giving away food to over 700 military families. 20 active service members from Fort Hood will be on hand tomorrow to start packing the food bags. About 1 in 6 military members in Killeen have food insecurity, which is why efforts like this are so critical.
My heart is in the military. My heart is in the Army, so I absolutely want to support the military as much as we possibly can, and there should be no military soldier out there that goes hungry.
Volunteers at the Food Care Center say it was only fitting that the giveaway should take place on the anniversary